My name is Bill Krenn. My daughter's name is Emory. She's 8 years old and she has AHC. I am involved in the patient advocacy organization Cure AHC as vice president and have been doing that for the past 3 years. Usually, and this is kind of a big challenge for parents because most people have never heard of alternating hemiplegia or AHC. So the way that I generally describe it is that she has these periodic episodes of paralysis and never quite sure when it's going to happen and how long it's going to last. So it is kind of like losing your child on a regular basis. I think it's the helplessness that you feel as a parent and that you see in your child. Seeing them lying on the couch or on the floor or in bed, not being able to move, and to know that they're in there somewhere and kind of looking at you, begging you to help them, and there's no way you can't. There's nothing that you can do except just be with them. And as a parent, to know that how much you want to help and how much you want to make things better, and there's not much you can do except for just sit with them and hold her and try and make her feel better. You know, I think many kids with AHC have episodes on a pretty regular basis. I think Emory is pretty lucky in the sense that she only has these episodes every 2 or 3 weeks. Sometimes it's more frequent. Sometimes it's less. Usually when she's sick or during the school year, she'll have them on a more regular basis. One thing about school, though, is she seems to be able to kind of keep it together when she needs to. She'll kind of wait until the end of the school day to kind of just let go and go into one, which is kind of strange to think about, that she may have some ability to hold things together until she has the chance to let go. When she was younger, it happened on a much more regular basis, but as she's gotten older, we've had more and more time between them. That's an interesting question. I think especially when she was younger and she was going through such a important developmental period, when she would have an episode or an attack, it would feel that way. You know, when she was just learning to sit up or just learning to crawl or walk, every time she had an episode, it would take a while to come back to normal. And we weren't sure, is she actually losing this ability, or is this just weakness from the episode and having to sort of regain that muscle control and muscle strength, because hypotonia, which is muscle weakness, is such a big part of it, especially for her. I think the first thing is that when you have a child with a rare disease, it can really feel isolating. When folks who have cancer or diabetes or heart disease or things like that, there's these huge organizations that raise millions of dollars, which is wonderful. But there's also millions of people who are affected by it, and everybody practically knows somebody who has had cancer. When you have a rare disease, the likelihood of meeting another family in your area or unless you're actively searching for that person, is really rare. So opportunities to come together, whether it's raising money for research, building a parent organization or advocacy organization, or getting involved with larger groups are so important. You know, I've gotten to meet so many really wonderful people through those types of experiences. You know, people from Iceland and people from Germany and India and Chile and Canada and all over the world, and those are experiences that I would never have had without AHC. So in that sense, you know, I'm thankful for that opportunity, because when you are one in a million, it feels really lonely, and these are opportunities to feel less alone. And to know that there are people out there all over the world that are working, doctors and scientists and researchers working to do something, to make things better for people that they have never met. You know, I don't know, haven't gotten to meet many of these people who are doing this work, but to know that they're out there and they're actively working to help our family is really incredible. Emory, my daughter, has a variety of different symptoms. You know, most of the time when I'm describing it to people, I talk about these episodes of paralysis, whether it's on one side or her entire body, because I think for her, those are some of the most prominent and sort of most challenging. We have 4 kids and she is our oldest, so it's funny, those times that she has these episodes are usually when my wife is at work for an entire weekend and I'm home with the kids and trying to, you know, help support her and help her feel comfortable and wrangle the other kids is often a challenge. And it's changed as she's gotten older. You know, when she was younger, she would have a lot more of the dystonia, that painful muscle tightness, or the nystagmus, when her eyes would go back and forth. And both of those things are really hard to see. And then as she's grown, you know, we've definitely noticed the developmental delay. So she has pretty limited speech. It's something that we've been working on a lot lately, working to teach her how to use an iPad to communicate and, you know, help build on the little speech that she has. And she can say hello and thank you and daddy and mommy, and say her friends' names and her brother's names and colors and count. But in terms of like putting actual sentences together to communicate, that's still something that's a little bit off for her. It took her until she was about 4.5 years old to be able to walk. So she was in kindergarten or preschool as a 3-year-old, crawling on the ground while her friends were running around beside her, which is tough to see, you know, to see normal peers and see how far she is behind. But she loves being around those people. You know, she's such a social person. And one of the great things about her, and I think a lot of kids, she is so engaging. I mean, her smile and her desire to meet new people and to reach out to people engages them and makes them care about her, even though she may be a little different.